Your mind is not a notification center. Your mind was not created to shake every time a phone lights up. It was not built to live on standby for strangers, updates, gossip, promotions, warnings, reels, and noise. Yet look at what the modern world has done to you. A sound appears, and your focus collapses. A message arrives, and your peace is postponed. A screen glows, and your soul abandons its own work. This is not convenience. This is invasion dressed as connection. Listen carefully. Your mind is sacred territory. It is the command room of your life. Every decision, every dream, every prayer, every wound, every ambition, all of it passes through that inner chamber. And still, many people have handed that chamber over to interruptions. This is the tragedy of the age. Not that people are tired, not that people are weak, but that they have become mentally available to everything. Someone posts and your attention runs. Someone texts and your focus bends. Some app blinks and your purpose pauses. By evening, you feel drained, scattered, restless, unfinished. Not because you worked too hard, but because your mind was pulled in 100 small directions and returned to none of them with dignity. This is how greatness dies now. Not with a dramatic failure, with tiny interruptions, with harmless-looking distractions, with polite little noises that slowly teach your brain to never stay still long enough to build anything powerful. Look at real life. A student sits down to study for 1 serious hour. In 10 minutes, a notification appears, then a reply, then a reel, then a random video, then comparison, then anxiety, then guilt. Now the book is still open, but the mind is gone. A father comes home wanting peace, but he cannot sit in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for his phone. An older man or woman, after spending decades building a family, now lives in a house full of devices but feels emptier than ever. A young dreamer says, "I want to do something big, but cannot survive 15 minutes without checking whether the world has spoken." This is no longer a phone problem. It is a sovereignty problem. Because the question is no longer, how busy are you? The real question is, who owns your attention? A mind that belongs to every notification can never belong fully to its own destiny. And understand this brutal truth. Constant interruption makes shallow people feel connected, while quietly making deep people forget how to think. It steals your depth first, then your patience, then your identity. Then one day, it steals your future and hands you a life full of activity but empty of meaning. You do not need to disappear from the world, but you must stop letting the world enter you without permission. Silence some things, delay some replies, ignore some noise. Not because you are arrogant, but because your inner life deserves protection. You cannot hear your purpose if your mind is rented out to chaos. You cannot build a legacy if your concentration has the discipline of smoke. You cannot become rare while living in reaction mode. Power begins when you reclaim access to yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Seneca, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. Epictetus, no man is free who is not master of himself. A lamp in the wind cannot study its own flame. The river that reaches the sea does not stop for every stone that calls its name. So let this be your awakening. Your mind is not customer service for the world's interruptions. It is not a corridor for panic. It is not a slave to every digital knock. It is a throne room, a workshop, a battlefield, a temple. Treat it accordingly. Turn some things off. Let some messages wait. Choose depth over instant response. Choose creation over reaction. Choose your future over your compulsions. Because the people who build extraordinary lives are not always more talented. They are more protected, more deliberate, more unavailable to nonsense. And one day, when your life begins to rise with frightening clarity, people will wonder what changed. Tell them this. I stopped letting every little noise have a vote in my destiny. I stopped living like my mind was public property. I became unreachable to distraction, and finally reachable to my purpose. Like, share, and subscribe to The Winning Mind if you like the content.